From South Dakota State University women's head basketball coach Aaron Johnston, student athletes Tylee Irwin and Peyton Burkhardt. Format will be similar. Before you ask a question, please state your name and affiliation. You could have the potential of questions from in the room and on Zoom. We'll do an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, congratulations to South Dakota. I thought they played really well today. I thought offensively they were, solid, and defensively they were really good. And we just, we certainly played hard enough, competed. I thought we had the right focus. We just didn't get into a rhythm offensively, and that really hurt us. We had some chances to make some plays and just never really got going offensively. And so we were kind of digging out of a hole, I thought, throughout a lot of the game. Some of that's their defense, and that's a big part of it. Some was just, quite frankly, our offense and not being as good as we probably needed to be. But I'm really proud of the team for how hard we played, being in this moment. They've handled themselves really well throughout the year. I know they will after this too, and we'll get through this adversity just like we do anything else.
Go ahead and open up questions for the student athletes.
Matt Zimmer, Argus leader. Peyton, I had you guys for 6 for 34 on 2-point shots. Just how much of a presence were they defensively? Hannah Shervin's length and size, it just looked like it was really tough to get in there on them.
Yeah, it was definitely tough to get the shots. I mean, we got good looks, good shots, but it was tougher to finish in there, and that led to them getting stops and into transition. So yeah, it was tough in there, and obviously not finishing those hurt us a little bit. So.
Tylee, you guys couldn't get into that rhythm offensively that Aaron talked about. I mean, how much of it did you feel like was things that you were doing on your own? Or, I don't know if that's the way to word it, but just not their defense and things that maybe you guys didn't do as well as you normally do.
Yeah, I think like AJ said, we just couldn't really get into a rhythm, and sometimes it's pretty deflating seeing, shots not falling in big games and, shots that we would typically make, or I don't know, that's kind of deflating to see, and that definitely makes it hard to get into a rhythm.
Andrew Holton, Brighams Register. Peyton, how much do you think the offensive struggles had to do with not having Paige?
I think Paige gets us into a really nice flow. She distributes the ball well, and she can also make plays, one-on-one plays. So not having that definitely hurt us. But I think we overall just had a lot of people step up and make plays when we needed them to. Obviously today we didn't have as many of those, but I'm just really proud of our team overall, and especially the people stepping up after Paige.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Matt.
Tylee, your guys' season probably isn't over, but you won't know for sure if there's an NCAA tournament berth coming. And you being a senior and this being it, like, how nerve-wracking are the next few days going to be for you, just wondering if you're going to get that opportunity or not?
Well, I sure hope there is. Yeah, that's something that you really want to look forward to your senior season, and yeah, this one hurts a little bit.
Thanks, ladies. You can head back to the locker room. We can go ahead with questions for Coach.
Aaron, it did seem like Hannah Shervin in particular was just a presence in there. I mean, she really made a difference, it seemed like. What did you see from her?
Yeah, I thought she did for sure. Points in the paint were hard to come by. It's a big thing that we rely on. Peyton really stretched the floor in the first half, kept us in it. And so, Hannah helping also create a lot of offense. But we just didn't find the balance with some of those threes. In the first half, I think, was it 1 or 2 field goals that weren't threes, if I'm trying to get my math? I can't remember. And some of that's her presence. And, I mean, come on, when we missed some that it should have gone into. We had both of those, and it just didn't go our way. In some ways, the game should have been further out of reach. And I think that's a good sign for how hard we played. We defended, I think, at a really high level. 50% of our game was good enough to win today. The other 50% wasn't. We have to be better, but their defense certainly impacted that. I thought Hannah in the middle impacted that. Just didn't get Maya going. We need Maya to score for her. She knows that, and this is her first tournament she's been in a while. It's just crazy to say for someone who's been in our program for 30 years, and so she'll grow from this. But that was a tough one. She wanted that bad, as everybody did, and you could see that with how she was playing out there. So really played well in some areas, but just not well enough offensively.
With Maya, was there anything that they were doing different defensively, or was it just kind of an off day for her?
I mean, Kai's a good defensive player. She has kind of the physicality and probably some of the athleticism it takes to guard somebody like Maya inside and outside. We didn't get a lot of transition, so Maya's usually pretty effective there. She got in foul trouble early, Maya, I'm talking about, so she had to sit, and we really talked about that a lot and just felt like the game was in reach, and, we didn't need a third foul there, but I don't know if that took her too much out of her rhythm, so we'll have to sit on that one and see what we want to do in the future there too. But yeah, good defensive player in Kaya, but I mean Maya's. I'm not going back talking about conference awards or anything. That's not what I mean. But Maya's the best player, around. I mean, she's good. She's really good. She just had a day that didn't go well, and I thought USD impacted that as a team very much. They defended her really well, but certainly Maya's a lot more basketball in front of her too. So.
How you handle the rest of this week, not knowing what's coming next?
We're trying to figure out what our plan is the rest of the day. We really didn't talk about A and B. Just really wanted this for this team a lot, and they were close. I thought we did a lot that it takes to win, but just didn't happen. So we'll regroup. We'll just like we've done, throughout the year, get through the adversity piece and kind of see what comes next. But we'll give them some time off too. I mean, they really played hard for a few days here. Usually this week is spring break on campus, but they got class tomorrow, so we'll get them back and they'll get back into a routine and just move forward. So.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
University of South Dakota head women's basketball coach Dawn Plitzuweit. Student athletes Chloe Lamb, Hannah Shervin, and Liv Korngable. Format will be the same. You have potential for questions from the main room, and then also we're on Zoom, so you could have a Zoom question. Please state your name and affiliation prior to asking a question. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes. Go ahead, Coach.
Thank you. So I would say this. Our young ladies played with an incredible amount of toughness and I thought fearlessness today. South Dakota State is a great, great basketball team, and somehow we were able to kind of slow them down, and they were able to do the same to us. And so I thought it came down to making some big plays, and I thought our young ladies were able to do that. And these three young ladies who opted to come back for their super senior year, COVID senior year, whatever you want to call it, came back for a moment like this and to have this opportunity. But just because you want to doesn't mean you get to. But it's a testament to them, to their character, to their toughness, to all the time that they've put in to get back here. So I couldn't be more excited for them. I love them to death. I wish they could stay for another year. Can we talk to the NCAA and petition? I think they've done just a great job of not only leading by example and vocally, but also leading and making sure they're taking care of their bodies, because this was a tough stretch, a really tough stretch, 3 games in 4 days, and then also adding the game before that. When we had to go make up the game at Western Illinois, it's hard to do that. And so I thought they did a tremendous job of kind of willing themselves to this point in time.
Go ahead with questions for the student athletes.
Bailey Zupke, Yankton, Preston, Dakotan. Hannah, you knew that this was going to be a defensive battle. You guys pride yourself on defense. What was kind of the key for you guys defensively to hold them to such a low shooting percentage and score overall?
Defense, like you said, is what we pride ourselves in. And last night, just remembering that we need to be able to guard one-on-one and not rely on each other to help and excel. And I think our team did a great job of that while still helping when they could.
Michael McClure, Argus leader. Chloe, obviously it was really back and forth towards the end, and there was a lot of misses back and forth. But was there any point of the game that you felt comfortable with the flow that if it stuck this way, you guys can pull it out?
Against State, it's hard to feel like that, because they're a great team and can really score the ball really efficiently. So you never really feel safe, I think. But I felt comfortable, and I trusted that we were going to make the plays that we needed to, guard people inside, and then get shots and execute on offense when we needed to as well.
Barry Poe, Sioux City Journal. Hannah, explain how you can go 6 minutes without a field goal and still increase your lead and hang on to win this game.
I didn't even realize we did that. I think, once again, that speaks to our defense and just relying on that to carry our offense. That if you do notice that can affect your flow, but I don't think any of us on the floor felt that, and that's a testament to how we play.
I think that's a testament to Hannah and Kaya.
holding Maya Sellen, who's been real hot, 0 for 10 in field goals. That's amazing.
And Liv, for you guys, three straight conference championships. What's so special about this group of this team to kind of win 3 in a row like that? It's a unique feat.
It is unique, especially because we've had different groups. You know, we've always been together, but we've had people leave and people come in, and that experience of each group is kind of different. You each have a different flow, but things stay the same. I think that's, you know, carried us through for these 3 for 3.
Hannah, obviously this was a goal for the year, but you know, obviously now that you know that you're moving on, I guess what are some of the goals for the future now?
I mean, I don't want to put a ceiling on what we're trying to do. Obviously, every game we want to go out there and win and compete and play at our highest level. So I think for us, it's just we need to focus on us and, you know, fixing the mistakes that we did make, even though we did win today.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, congratulations, Chloe, Liv, and Hannah. You guys can head back to the locker room.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Kind of tough, you know.
Go ahead with questions for Coach.
Don, obviously the defensive effort was a total team effort, but what specifically do you think impact Hannah had in there? I mean, the block shots, the rebounds, it just looked like the lane was a no-go for South Dakota State with her in there.
Yeah, Hannah has a huge impact on the game on both ends of the court. Her size, her length, you know, her understanding of when to come over and help make life difficult. You know, I think she really was a force to be reckoned with. And certainly late in the game, when, you know, there was a 6-point differential late in the game, you never did feel safe at that point in time because State can score so fast. And there was a possession where they shot it, and Kaya jumped as high as she could jump, and Kaya can really jump. And Hannah went to go get it, and somehow Chloe Lamb came up with it. So we were laughing about that. And then the next one, there was nobody even close to Hannah. I told Hannah it looked like at that point in time she was about to touch the rim. Like she just has a great desire and a great ability to make plays.
You obviously only had 1-3 at halftime, I guess, coming into the half. And you know, when you talked to your team, was that something that you wanted them to get a little bit more looks for?
Well, South Dakota State's a great defensive team, and they weren't giving us many opportunities. We had a hard time moving the basketball, establishing ourselves inside. You know, got a couple in transition or kind of early offensive type of looks, maybe when they were not quite matched up at that point in time. So tough to get them against them. We had a hard time getting them at their place. We had a tough time tonight, or today. I don't know what day it is, time it is. Sorry about that.
And Chloe kind of started that second half pretty high, got a couple shots to fall, kind of gave you guys that little bit of a cushion that you held throughout the entire second half. How big was that?
Yeah, Chloe makes plays. You know, she's such a tough competitor, you know, and I think it's, again, I think it's really special for these three because they wanted it so bad, and that's why they came back. But because you want it so bad, it sometimes gets in your own way. And then there's the other part of it that it almost, at time, if you win it, it feels like it should be a relief. It didn't feel that way. There was pure joy, and that was really fun for them. So I'm glad they had a chance to experience that. I thought their mindset was really good.
When's the last time you've seen or been involved in a game that's so defensively intense for both teams the entire game?
Yeah,
And
that
how
was
much
tough,
is that
huh?
a testament to your team? To be
Well,
able
the
to-
good news is our fans understand the cheer for us when we're on defense, so we appreciated that. We need a little extra help on that side of the court.
You mentioned just some of the joy at the end of the game, but you know, has this sort of become, you know, obviously 3 straight now, has this sort of been the expectation of the program, especially with this group largely similar?
Well, there are 8 teams who are here that want to do the same thing, that want to cut down the nets and want to have an opportunity to play in the big dance. And so, you know, to be able to get to this game is really hard to do. You know, we really had to battle. I thought UMKC played a great basketball game yesterday, and it was a struggle, you know, and a battle to get to this point in time. So first of all, you get here. You know, that's after playing Western Illinois, and that's a back and forth battle the whole time, and had a lead, and then they cut into it, and then it's tied, and then we're behind. I mean, so it was, the first part is it's tough to get to this game, and the second part is, you know, then it's tough to win it, and it's tough to win it when you're playing against someone who is great on both ends of the court. I think South Dakota State is one of the best teams in the country in scoring the ball. They score 80 points a game. They score at a 53% clip. They shoot it. I mean, the way they shot at the beginning of the game, I thought, this is going to be tough. And so, you're playing against a great offensive team, but they can also defend at the same time. And so, yeah, we just feel really fortunate that we were able to come out on top.
And there were a couple plays that Grace made, one with the shot clock winding down where she got her own offensive rebound, and then at the end of the third quarter with the lay-in at the buzzer. I mean, to have a freshman in this type of environment step up like that, how big was that?
Well, and the best part about it was she was running the point guard spot so we could get the ball entered and make a play, and she couldn't really get it entered. I think she went to the wrong side of the floor, and then she was like, well, I guess I got to just make something happen. And so the great part is she just has the ability to make things happen, and she has a great demeanor about doing it. And I think again we had an opportunity during the course of this game, and it doesn't really show up in a stat sheet, with Allison Poplowski and Janaya Ugowski and Macy Giebert, and Grace Larkins playing really, really important minutes for us, and that's going to be important for their growth moving forward.
We'll take one last question in the back here.
Don, Eric Mayer with Kellyan News. How great a showcase was this of just South Dakota women's basketball in the state?
Yeah, that's a great question. Certainly, I think the fans for both teams, made this an environment that girls dream of playing in an environment like this. And I think the Summit League and all the people that put time and effort into running this event, it's first class. It's second to none. And everyone from the staff here at the Denny Premier Center, it's really, really well done. And so our ladies are going to have an opportunity to tell their kids about this. I had a chance to coach in the Big Ten and be at the Big Ten women's basketball tournament, and this environment is just so much different. It's really, really special, and we don't take that for granted. So we really appreciate all the fans. I really do mean that sincerely, even the ones that weren't cheering for us, because it is something that's really special for our young ladies to look back at and have those memories and have all the video and all the pictures to go right along with it.
Congratulations and thanks,
Thank
Don.
you.